Hello everyone. In this video, we will see what are methods and loops in Java. So in Java, sometimes for method we call them as functions also. So let's see what are methods or functions and loops in Java. Here I am opening my Eclipse and there is a Java project created. So if you don't know how to create the Java project, so you can watch my part 2 video where I have explained how to create the Java project and how to create the classes and the packages. So let's start. So first I will create a package named. In this, I will create a class as a my class name, and I will add main class here, and I will remove constructors and inherited subject. Let's finish. My main class got created with the class. So in Java, if you want to create a method, for example, let me first explain you what is method. So here you see, I have a cooking recipe. Okay. So if I want to cook biryani, so I have some ingredients. For example, rice, garam masala, and vegetables. So here, if you see this biryani, you can consider it as a function, and these recipes are inside that function. So every time when you want to prepare the biryani, then you already have the ingredients recipe here. So you don't have to write all these ingredients again and again. You just open your book, then you will see all the ingredients there. So methods, normally what it does is it makes developers simple so that we can write couple of code inside the method, and wherever we need those code, then we just need to call that method, then whatever inside that method we'll get it easily. So in the same manner in Java, here if you see, my main method is there. So if I have to create another method, let's create a method for adding the two integers. I created a method here, add. So here what it is saying, return a type for the method is missing. It means when you want to call a method, once you call the method, what it is returning you? Is it returning you nothing, or if it is returning you some integer or some character, then you should mention it. So here, if I am adding two integers, then it will return me an integer only. So I will add a int here. Then first let's start with assigning some value I equal to 1, j equal to 2, and in this variable, what it does, it will add I plus j. So it will add I plus j. Okay. One, then it should return. What it will return back? It will return whatever added here, I plus j, I will return it back. And so now what it does, it will return this value I plus j 3 when we call this add method. So let's call that method. First, create an object here. Why I have to create an object here? Because this add method is non-static. So in my previous video, I have explained you what is the difference between static and non-static. When a variable or a method is not specifying with any static keyword like this, then it is called as non-static. If that is a non-static, then it belongs to a object memory. That's why when I'm trying to call a non-static method, then first I should create the object. Once I create the object, then a dot add. You see here, add. So this is the way I am calling this method. So once I call this method, then this method will return me a integer value. I have to store that integer value here. Int add value. So when I call this method, then it will give me a add value as 3. Let's print it. SYSU control space, enter. Control space, add value. If you see here, I have a method outside the main method. Always remember your method should always be outside the main method, because whenever you execute or run your class, then first your system will run the main method. So whatever inside that main method will be executed. So if you want to create your own method, then that method should be outside your main method, and you should call that method inside the main method. Let's run this. Let's run this. So you see here 3. How it 3 came here? So first I created the object, and using that object here, I called my add method. When I called my add method, inside that add method, I have mentioned the variables I and j, and I assigned the value as 1 and 2 for those variables, and I am adding those variables, and I am storing that value in a variable add, and I am returning that value. Here I am mentioning what type of data I am returning. So once I call this that method, then it will give me a value as 3, and that 3 is a integer, and I am printing that value. So if I want to call print this again, then run this again. You see here 3. Next, what I will do is, instead of calling this and assigning that value here, what I will do is I will comment this, and I will call my method directly inside the print. Add here a dot add. Let's run this. Still I get the value as 3, right? So here I am assigning the variables inside the method. So can I do one thing? If in future, if I want to change these values, then I cannot search my methods where my method is, and I cannot change this value. So for simplicity, what I will do is, instead of assigning these variables inside the method, what I will do is I will pass those variables when I am calling my method here. Can I do like this? Yes, I can do it. What I will do is I will remove these, and I will pass 1 and 2 here. So when I am passing 1 and 2 in my method, then I should accept those 1 and 2 here. What is 1 and 2? They are integer, and I will give the name I and space j. So this integer I and integer j are nothing but 1 and 2. So this 1 is a j into j, and this 2 is j, and 1 is I. When I pass those 1 and 2 inside my add method, then those variables will be added here, and I will get the response. Here you will see a error here, because what it is saying, the method add int int in the type class is not applicable, because here I am not passing any values. But this method, what it is expecting a two integer value, but I am not passing any integer value here. That's why it is showing me error. Now I will remove this and run my class. Here you see we get 3. Why we get 3? Because here I am passing 1 and 2 when I am calling my method, and I am getting it here. Can I change these values? Yes. Let's make 2 plus 2 equal to 4, 2 plus 5 equal to 7. Is not it simple? Yeah. I have a method now, and I want to create the one more method. I will create a method named biryani recipe. So here I want to print the ingredients of the biryani. So if I just want to print the ingredients of biryani here, I am not going to return any value here. That's why if I am not returning any value, then I will add void here. If I add void here, then this function will not return anything. So what are the ingredients of biryani? Rice, garam masala, vegetables, and if I want to call this method, then I will call it as a dot biryani recipe. That's it. When I call this, then this will print all these value. So here I am calling my method inside the system.out.println because here I am not printing any value. I am just returning that value. Then I want to print it. But when I am already returning some printing some values inside my method, then I don't have to again add it inside the println. I can just call it. Let's run my method. See here, you see rice, garam masala, and vegetables here. And you all also see value 7. I will remove this. And this I see here. And I can call this n number of times. I can call this again. Again, I can call this as many times as I call this, my receipts will be printed. See here, it got printed 3 times, right? In method and function, we always have some logic inside it. Either we are just printing it or we are doing some addition and subtraction or any business logic. We will be having it in the method and whether it is returning some value or it is not returning some value based on that, what type of value it is returning. If it is returning any int, then we will add it int. If it is returning any character, we will add it as character. If it is not returning anything, then we will add it as void. And if it is a non-static method, then we have to create the object of our class, then we need to call it like this. This is called as methods and functions. Let's see what are loops in Java. So let's take one example. If I tell you to clap 5 times, then what you will do? You will clap 1, clap 2, clap 3, clap 4, clap 5 times. So if I ask you to print that clap, then what you will do? Print clap. But how many times? 5 times. So if you in Java, if you have to print this clap 5 times, then are you going to print it 5 times like this? Are you going to print this? No, this is hectic. 5 times is okay. If I ask you to print it 1,000 times, then this is difficult, right? Then what we can do is instead of doing a one thing multiple times again and again and again, can I add this in a loop so that it keep on printing as many times as I want? Yeah, we can do it. How we can do it? In Java, we can add a for, right? Inside this, I can print clap. How many times this will print and how many times I have to clap, how many times this will print, that I will define inside this bracket. For example, first what I will do, int I equal to 0, right? I less than 5, I plus plus. What it means? Int I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. It means, let's say I starts with 0 and my loop will keep executing again and again and again as many times as less than 5. For example, I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4 because 4 is also less than 5. So until I is less than 5, my loop, what it will do, it will keep on executing again and again and again, and my clap will be printed again and again and again. So, and what is this I plus plus? I plus plus means at what value I am increasing my I value. Here, if you see 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, it means I'm increasing one value here. That's why I plus plus. If I'm increasing this as I to 0, 4, 6, 8, here I'm increasing two values here. If I'm increasing two values, then what I will do? I plus 2. It means 0 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8, right? So here, if I want to print clap 5 times, then what I have to do? I will start I equal to 0. Then I will repeat my loop 1, 2, 3, 4 until it is less than 5. Let's see this in a programmatical way. Let's open my IntelliJ, and now I will remove this previous code. Right? Then let's first create a for loop and write SYSO control space. And here I will say clap. And how many times I want to clap? First start with 0 and till less than 5, I plus 1 or I plus plus. Anything is okay. If I run this, then what will happen? My clap will be printed 5 times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because till 4, it is less than 5. Once it becomes 5, then I is 5, and again it is less than 5. 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equal to 5. It means this condition here, right? This will got failed, right? Once it failed, then my loop will stop. Let me run this. See here, clap, 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 clap 5 times, right? Once my I becomes 5, then this condition got failed because I is not less than 5. I is equal to 5. Here I am putting less than 5. That's why it will fail. So can I make it one more clap? For example, what if I add equal to here? Then what will happen? I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4. Then still it will continue till I equal to 5 also because here I added equal to. Let's run this currently. If you count this, this is 5. Now it will become 6. See here, it is 6 now, right? Can I increase this by 2 count? I by 2. So every time I'm increasing I 2 times, right? And here I'm assigning I. What will happen? 0, 0 to direct 2, 2 to 4, then 4 to 6. But 6, when it becomes 6, then my loop will not execute because here it is I is only less than or equal to 5, my condition. Once I is more than 5, then my loop will not execute. So here it should only print 3 times clap. Let's run this. See, it printed only 3 times, right? Can I print the I value here? Yeah, we can do that. Just add plus I. So whatever I value is being assigned here, right? That will be printed with the clap. Let's see. Run. Clap equal to 0, clap 2, clap 4. If I remove this and if I increase it only by 1, then what will happen? Clap 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I hope you understood what is loop in Java. Loop is nothing but you have something inside the loop and you want to execute it again and again and again continuously. So, and inside this bracket, you will say when it will start, with what value it will start, and till what value my loop will continue, and how I'm increasing that value. Once you specify all these data here, then according to that, your code will be executed inside for loop. I hope you understood what are methods and loops in Java. Thanks for watching the video.